everybody, and welcome back to round 7 of the Petefighter Podcast. I am absolutely privileged to have Erik Ko from Udon here with me today. Welcome, Erik. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How you guys going? How's everybody doing? Hi from Canada. We finally get some really good weather. And we're not like cold and and with snow and stuff,
Yeah, Canada's
anymore.
pretty snowy,
So,
huh? I lived in Toronto for 1 month, and
oh yeah,
it snowed like in September. I was like, what is this? It's the craziest thing I've
Hey,
ever
we
encountered.
still. I mean, like we still have some snow like last month. So it's Toronto. It's basically like you can expect snow anytime. I would not be surprised that in 2 weeks, all of a sudden we got snow again.
Yeah.
While right now we are at like 30 degrees outside,
Oh, that's good.
like Celsius. Yeah, it was,
Pretty good.
so it was like insane,
Yeah.
like
It
insanely like
varies
warm
so much
outside these 2 days. Yeah.
from one day to the other. So anyway, give a brief background on yourself for people that don't know you or Udon. I'm sure
Well, like
everyone
I'm
here
I'm sure that
knows,
a
but
lot of people know Udon. Not a lot of people know who I am because I normally hide behind the scene and just do whatever. I have a couple other guys who are more, forefront, at Udon doing most of the publicity work and stuff. But nowadays, it's like, okay, I better come out from the woodwork and start telling people, hey, I exist too. But anyway, Udon's actually like a group of artists initially coming together to try to do projects. We actually wanted to do uh, a couple creator-owned projects
mhm.
back in 1999, but
Is
up
that
till
when
now,
Udon
those
started? Was that like the
Udon actually started at the end of 1999.
okay,
Officially we become known in the year 2000,
right?
doing a Marvel job.
Okay.
And that is when Udon formally formed, and it's been 20 years. So it's
What?
we're
20
pretty proud.
1999 was 20 years ago. It feels like it just happened.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
like
right.
when people are like
Yeah.
1999 was 20. I'm like, wait, what? Was it? I was
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
You look at it as like it's actually 2020. It's like shit, you know.
Can't deal with
No, it's
this.
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 20
So what was the
20
first?
years. When we have Udon 10 years anniversary, it was like it's been 10 years, and then now all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like, wait, another 10 years pass and we're still here. So I guess we are, you know, we're okay.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Yeah. I mean, I think most people would know you from sort of like your Street Fighter lines and stuff like that. That's like what bring well, it's definitely what brought me to you guys initially and stuff, and then I sort of seen the like your very diverse portfolio of like franchises and stuff that you actually work with and stuff. But
Yeah,
like
we actually did a lot of things back in the days. We started off, as I said, back in 1999, at the end of 1999, like the few of us come together. It's like, oh, we want to do this book, we want to do this story. So we
uh-huh.
we started a company, and we were thinking about doing self-publishing and all this kind of stuff. Up till right now, 20 years later, those books never exist. We never get to actually even started those books of ourselves. But then we have done many, many other books for other people. We started off working with Marvel Comics. Our very first job is actually a Burger King job that we did for Marvel
Oh
back
wow.
in the day. Yeah, well, the Burger King has those little kids meal stuff.
Yeah.
I think arguably it's the very first it is one of the very first projects that we can call the digital comic. So
Mm-hmm.
we have these Burger King kids meal toys, and they come with a little mini CD. And the mini
Oh.
CD inside, has this flash player, which is like very crude, and we're talking about like 480 pixel type, type resolution,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
at
yeah.
that time is like freaking
Wow.
super
Yeah,
HD
exactly.
already.
Whoa, look at the
Yeah.
graphics. Yeah.
We're not talking about 256, we're talking about 480, it's like super graphics. And then we made those comics for Marvel.
Oh wow.
It's been like a crazy job. It wasn't meant to be. It's just like at that time I was still doing toy development and stuff. I just went out to Marvel to visit my friends
Mm-hmm.
and Joe Q, Joe Quesada is like a friend of mine, and
Okay.
then at that time, I just went to visit him, and then I was actually trying to introduce him to a couple other guys who's looking for work in the comic book in the comic field. Namely, it was like Longbow and his studio mates,
Right.
which
Okay.
we all know Long
Long.
becoming
Who's
like
that
one of the
guy?
original guys. Yeah, like right.
Who's
Yeah,
he?
Long. That guy who draws Street Fighter for a while.
Yeah, that guy.
So Long. So Long. I was trying to actually work on trying to introduce Long to Marvel to do X-Men Evolution,
Nice.
because of his really nice anime style,
Mm-hmm.
artwork
Yeah.
style that he does, and we did, and we were up there, and then they were looking for people to also do this X-Men Evolution Burger King job,
Okay.
and but it was in a very tight schedule. We wanted to help out, but it's almost impossible for just one team to take on that job because we're talking about it was what like it was 8 different characters because there's 8 different toys, so we
Yeah.
need 8 CDs, and each one of them is like an 8-page comic, so it's 64 pages comics.
Yeah. It's a
But
lot of
then we
work.
only have it's 64 pages of the comic. We only have like 2 months supposedly to do it.
Wow. It's a quick turnaround for that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a very quick turnaround for American comic standards. If you're talking about manga standard,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
go and
They
go and
whip it out
go
in
and read.
whip it out in
Yeah,
an afternoon. You know that. Oh, here's a
yeah,
three
yeah,
hundred page book in 2 hours. Cool. We're done.
yeah. Go read Bakuman. Like published by Viz. That one. I highly recommend that manga to
Uh-huh.
everyone who wants to work in the comic industry, because that you can see how hard it is to actually do it, and Bakuman is very real.
Wow.
Seriously, Bakuman, everything that's depicted in there about a manga artist and everything is very, very real.
Oh wow.
Even though they put a lot of drama in it, but it's a very real experience to become a mangaka in Japan.
Okay.
So I highly recommended that book. Anyway, go back to the Udon story. So we took on the job as a team. So other than Long and Charles and Kid, like the Studio XD guys, I also try to find more people. So we got Arnold, we got Elvin, we got Omar, we got a whole couple other guys.
Uh huh.
It's a team of 15 people
Wow.
actually coming together to take on this job. And there's a lot of other little kinks, that we have to work out, including
Sure.
like stories. Marvel has their own writer doing the stuff and dealing with Burger
Right.
King at that time. And then little did we know, like when we do comics for publishing and stuff, there are less restriction than doing comics for a kid's meal toy, because there's more things that we have to worry about that none of us from Udon or from Marvel, even from Marvel comic office,
Yeah.
would know there are all these restrictions that you cannot do. Like, for example, you cannot have any stories or story points that would kind of hint for a kid to do something to endanger
Yeah. Of
themselves.
course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We there was a story there's a story that like Quicksilver was trying to take down like a bad guy, and then he is in an arcade, so
Yeah.
he went and just like unplugged one of the arcade machines and used the
Cord.
wire to
Yeah.
wrap the guy's legs so that so he can't run away.
Right. I
Then
see. Yeah.
afterwards, we were told by Burger King, is like, no, you cannot actually tell a kid to go and unplug something. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
dangerous. It
Yeah.
was
I
like,
see.
oh yeah, we never thought about that.
Yeah. It's
You
just that.
know,
Yeah. It's just
and
things
and,
like that that you
and
don't really
these are
think
the
about.
things, yeah, yeah, these are things that you don't think about when you're doing regular comic book. You do a lot of stuff, like you punch
Sure.
people, you
Yeah.
know, like you have people shooting people and stuff, and then there's a lot more restrictions. So eventually, after figuring out all the plot points, we actually only have 28 days to do
Wow.
64 pages of artwork.
Oh my gosh.
And we worked like 24 hours, and at that time, it's funny because, like Long and those guys in the West Coast, we are in Toronto. Um, and between the two team of 15 people, like some guys work at home. We all camped out like in my house to do it. Um, in
A
Toronto,
Shea
and,
Eric's.
and
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then how do we get the files over? And thank God, at that time there's no such thing as FTP. It's not as
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sophisticated. So at that time, the way that we actually get the files to send over, it's using ICQ.
my
Because
god.
ICQ. Remember, I don't know anything. You
ICQ.
remember
I have
ICQ?
not heard that
Yeah.
in forever.
I actually missed ICQ. You know, I still remember my ICQ number, for Christ's sake.
Oh my
But I actually missed
god.
ICQ
I like
because
literally,
ICQ,
I blocked that out of my memory. When you said it, I was like, ICQ. Oh
yeah, it's like
my.
what are you talking about, right? You remember
The
those three little letters?
kids today will be like, what the hell are they talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah,
yeah,
ICQ.
like before Skype, before Discord, before Messenger, before Facebook,
Any of
there is
that.
this thing called
ICQ.
ICQ. And
ICQ.
ICQ plays a very important role in in Udon's initial form because that
Udon
is
then.
basically our FTP. So ICQ at that time has this function called auto receive file if you trust that person.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
actually would do that with Long and his team, so that Long would actually send me files in the middle of the night and I will automatically receive it. And then when I wake up, I will go and look at it, check it, edit it, send it to Marvel, and then like send a
Wow.
JPEG to Marvel and say, hey, this is what's going on, and and then how it happens and whatnot and stuff. And then that way we can get everything approved or get everything edited, and then or something more important that I can't do it, then I'll send it back to Long. It's like, hey, can you do that? And then
Yeah.
we'll auto accept file and send me a new one. And the only like Marvel, of course, they're a big company. They are set up with this FTP thing. But
Yeah.
we don't have an FTP. We're just like
Yeah, yeah,
guys
yeah. You're
working
a
at home.
startup at that
So
point, yeah.
so that is our way to transfer files back in the day.
Wow.
And it has been like that for a while actually. That everybody worked at home and everybody just sent files through me, through ICQ.
ICQ. Brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. That is so
Yeah, and
so
after that, after we did that job, we started working more with Marvel, and then we branched out with like all these other companies.
uh-huh.
So we have worked with like Dark Horse. We did a couple of the Star Wars covers for them.
Okay.
I actually personally work on the Ultraman Tiga project with Dark
Oh
Horse
nice.
being the translation person and
Cool.
like the translated editor guy.
Uh-huh.
We work with Image a lot. We work with, we work on the Battle of the Planets stuff with Alex Ross and Top Cow. So we do a lot
Just
of we
everything.
did a lot of projects for other people. Yeah,
Just
and
everything
then
basically. Everything in the world.
we it was 2002, so 2 years later.
Uh-huh.
So we've done a lot of different projects for different people,
Sure.
and then we always liked Street Fighter. We've always been playing Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like on our spare time and stuff. I mean, I'm one of the shittiest player, but then all these other guys beat
Same.
me.
Same.
Um, and
We'll play.
and
Me and you can play.
yeah, I think
we'll,
I think you and me can
yeah,
play, and
we'll
then
play together, yeah. And
you'll be
Edwin
even.
and
We'll
Long
be
will just
a
be
pretty good
laughing
even
at us.
field. Yeah. But anyway, so what we did is um we wanted to do Street Fighter, and we've been working with Marvel a lot, so we were like, hey, there's Marvel versus Street Fighter. There's all these things, so maybe like we talked to our Marvel editors, like, hey, you think maybe you guys can get the Street Fighter rights, and then we can draw for you.
Right.
And our editor is actually really cool back then, and then he's also a big Street Fighter fan, so he's been trying to facilitate it. But at that time, like we talked to the higher ups, and then there are some complications about the deal,
Right.
and I don't know the details at the end. They were like, no, we don't want to take in license. We license stuff out to people
Right.
normally. We don't license in most of the time. I was like, okay. So we tried some other client of ours, and none of them was really interested because back in the day, Street Fighter is a dead property. We're talking about 2002.
Yeah, it was really.
Street Fighter 3 has been around for a while. There's
Yeah.
no new Street Fighter stuff. They are more pushing for things like Dino Crisis, and Devil
which
May
is
Cry just
which is
started
like
coming
dead
out.
now, Dino Crisis, bless it. But yeah. Yeah.
You never know. Maybe they can bring it back. I actually kind of like the game.
I like Dino Crisis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's like a Resident Evil with dinosaurs, right? So it's like,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like
yeah,
that Capcom are definitely going to start bringing back a lot of their older IP. I think they definitely are seeing the worth in their like older stuff now, which is nice to
I,
see.
I think I think it's interesting. I think Dino Crisis would be something that would benefit a lot with today's, CG and and
Technology, yeah,
and 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 yeah, and the
and
game
graphics,
technology, the
and
game engine
yeah,
technology. Yeah, I think it would be much more exciting, to have a Dino Crisis game now than the one back in the day.
yeah, for sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
So,
there's so many that they have, like even Power Stone and things like that. I think they would be like perfectly suited to that sort of like I think Power Stone would kill it on the Switch. I think if they brought out like
Power
a Power
Stone,
Stone collection,
yeah, I
I
think
feel
I
like
think it would be
with
interesting
a bit of
too.
online play and whatever, like people would be into it. I think it would be fun. Like it's kind of a wacky brawler, like that people kind of enjoy at these kind of times. Like that whole sort of like
Cyberbots,
smash.
man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, there's too many. There's too many, but rival schools.
I'm still waiting for them to revive rival schools
I know.
because
Well, we've
uh
talked about rival schools. I know that you're like as big as
yeah.
fan as me. Me and you like are like
Oh, we
rival
yeah.
schools. High
So
five on
like
the
I mean
rival
like
schools.
well, that we have some secret rival schools thing going on, you know, for a few years now. I can say it because we're moving forward. We are
Maybe.
definitely moving forward with that.
I haven't said anything. Oh my
Yeah.
god, no, it's
we
been
we we
killing
we're
me.
definite yeah, but we are moving forward with that. I think sometime next year it will be announced. So
Finally.
rival school fans, will be very happy because I have been working on that for like what,
Sweaty.
5 years now.
I know you told me about
I've
it.
been
It's
working
been a
for
long time, and I've been like
Yeah,
sat on the
I've been
information. I'm
working
like,
on that for like over 5 years now to try to get that one project going on rival schools.
and it's gonna be
No,
so
it's not a
cool.
game. All
It's
right,
not a
so
game. It's
no,
not
no,
a
it's not a
game.
game.
It's not
It's not a game.
not
It's not
rival
a game.
schools.
No, there
No
was a
game.
Udon thing. No, yeah, like I don't want to make anybody think that there's a game and then they started going to knock
Don't
at the
start
Capcom store and
rumors,
then we're gonna
kids.
be in
Don't
trouble. We're
start
like, no,
rumors. Yeah,
no, 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 that's not a game. It's a
it's something else.
it's a thing, something else. When it's something Udon can do.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
it is. It's
Yeah,
something Udon can do. You know, it's not something that Udon cannot do. Meaning a game.
yeah.
It's something within my grasp that I can actually say yes. We're doing something like that.
But I mean,
So you guys go and
you
stick
guys
stick
have turned your hand to like a lot of games. I mean, you guys have done loads of in-game stuff. I mean,
we,
like
we actually have, yeah, we're lucky we did a lot of in-game content and stuff.
yeah, like Street Fighter Five, Tatsunoko
Mainly,
versus Capcom. I can't even think like
well,
off the top of my
Street
head
Fighter
right now.
HD. I mean, Street Fighter HD,
Street Fighter
that one
HD.
is our first really immerse experience in game development.
Yeah,
Um, every single pixel in that game, the original version of that game, like the new one, they upgraded a couple things, but this like every sprite's redrawn by Udon as a studio.
yeah,
Uh, every background is done by one person, Omar Dogan.
yeah.
He's a powerhouse.
His
Like every single
backgrounds are
background.
crazy. Like I see his
Yeah.
artwork. He's like I love his art, but his backgrounds are just insane. Like I don't think anybody does backgrounds like him. He's so good.
No, we act like the one thing that Udon is great of is, we got guys who can draw characters really well,
Yeah,
but those guys can also do a lot of more than just characters. What I have problem with nowadays on nowadays comic book artwork is the American comic book artwork is there's not a lot of backgrounds. They just skimp on it. They learn how to draw the character well,
yeah,
mostly headshots and stuff. You go on a convention, you go to artist alley, you got all these artists, and this is one critique that I have with a lot of the new guys is the fact that they are really nice illustrators.
yeah,
They know how to do illustrations, like
hmm
still illustrations, or maybe like a money shot, but
yeah,
at the end, can they tell a story? Can they properly do a setting? These are the basic need to become a real comic book artist
yeah,
versus you're just an illustrator.
yeah,
You're an illustrator, then you can do illustrations. You can do like a pin up. and a lot of guys out there, they are really nice pinup artists. I mean, like we do a lot of portfolio reviews and stuff. And then the one thing that I've been telling everyone is like, you got to show a variety of stuff. Don't come to me and give me a portfolio and only show me headshots
Yeah.
or bust shots and say that, hey, I can draw. I don't care how good you can draw portraits or or like a thing with just like posing but waist up.
Yeah.
I want to see more full bodies. I want to see more interaction. I want to see how you can actually do the storytelling, meaning panel from panel, the flow of the action,
Yeah.
you know, the
Absolutely.
the the layouts, is it disjointed, from one to the other? Can you actually see how the action flow? Can you see how, the the environment is set up? Those are all very important. You can draw the best character, you can do the best illustration, then
Mm-hmm.
you become a cover artist, and that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
But to be able to like have the storytelling aspect of it, like as you said, like
Yeah,
that's a different skill as well. So yeah,
yeah.
there you go,
And then
guys.
also,
That's the
the
advice
way
if you
the
want to
action.
work for Udon.
Well, basically, you want to work in the comic book industry,
Yeah,
not necessarily just, but I think this is a very big prerequisite. It's not only you can draw things nicely,
yeah,
is how you can do on storytelling, because we are talking about comic books here. Every page, every panel, you have to be able to tell a story.
yeah. So, what current projects are you like? We skated over a rival schools project that's still yet unannounced. But what other
Uh,
current projects are you working on right now? Because I mean, like con season got cancelled, like coronavirus
con season is
happened,
canceled, so
like
now all these
2020 is
con
cancelled.
exclusive, yeah,
So like you're
yeah.
really
So,
known for your like con exclusives and stuff, like things like this and the one that you're wearing right now, and
yeah, like
pins
this,
and
or like this.
this and metal
So
cards and
this,
yeah, we're like
yeah.
showing things off now. Actually, I'm going to be giving these away on the Street Fighter Legacy Instagram, a four set of metal cards from Udon. I don't know if you can see them. It's the Street Fighter 4 ladies. You have Decapre and Sea Viper and Yuri and Poison. So check that out on Street Fighter Legacy Instagram as well. So thank you to Udon M for giving us those. But yeah, so back to con season. You've got millions of things coming up,
Yeah,
right?
we gotta now there's no con season. So pretty much what we want to do is we want to connect with our fans through our websites
Mm-hmm.
and through our web store. Like Udon started doing, we actually always have a web store, but then we never really publicize it that much
Mm-hmm.
because we actually want to support the retailers,
Yeah.
more. So for the regular Udon books and all those kind of things, do go to your comic book shop. They need you more than anything right now, like
Oh yeah.
the local stores right now, especially with the situation, the shutdown and everything. So do go and support your local comic book shop as
Mm-hmm.
much as you can, because they really need, they really need us right now to go
To
and,
keep them
and
open,
keep them
to
going.
keep them going, because
For
it.
those that open, go and try to buy something from them.
No, for sure.
In the meantime, there are online places that has our books too.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know, people can
I mean, you're
people have
heavily
having a hard
distributed through
time
things
finding
like
the book.
Amazon and stuff like that, aren't you?
Yeah,
Like,
we got Amazon, Barnes and Noble, like a lot of other bigger chains do carry our art books and stuff.
yeah,
Our
and
individual
your like
comics, you can go to
anthologies and stuff. Yeah.
right. But for the pins and everything, like these are we keep it direct with us.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we are launching a new website, which is like a sub portal of our own Udon store website.
Uh huh.
It will be udonpins.com. That it's launching first of June. Yes,
Wow, they
yes,
look
this is coming out first
fantastic.
of June. Yes,
Wow.
these were supposed. The funny thing is, like, these were supposed to be PAX East exclusive launch products.
Right.
And then COVID-19 hits, and it stops the whole China. So we didn't actually get these until after PAX,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's a shame.
And we were going to, yeah, we're going to launch them in, we're going to launch them in, we're going to launch them at AX, but there's
Uh-huh.
no AX anymore to go to.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's put it online.
Uh-huh.
But with the online portal, we are talking about more than just, like one con. Like we're
Uh-huh.
talking about something more ongoing. So the last like 5, 6 weeks, we've been working really hard to try to develop more products.
Okay.
So we will be hopefully, getting some ongoing releases through the udonpins.com for people to keep collecting.
That's the thing.
Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, like when I work for you guys, like I very much I do the pins. I do pins for you
yeah,
guys. That's my
you,
job.
you,
They're
yeah,
like,
you're the,
Pete,
you're the
you're on
pin guy at the
pins. I'm
con.
the
Yeah,
pin guy. So if you have bought any pins from me and done lucky draw, then thing. But one of the major things that I've seen, like post cons, is that because I've been posting up about these pins and stuff, and they're like, I live in blah blah blah, and I can't get them, or I don't go to San
yeah.
Diego Comic
Now,
Con.
now you
So
can, now you can
now,
get them without going to San Diego Con.
exactly.
Uh, yeah, we shall have like some of the character pins up later on,
Uh huh.
as the launch goes. One of them is this like glitter Chun-Li.
The glitter
This blue glitter
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li is a Chun-Li, but then you see that the color is actually like a
It's a
glitter
glitter
blue.
one, yeah.
So yeah, so this is one of the variants from our Street Fighter winning pose set
Winning post set,
that
yeah.
would be
That set
available.
is like
Um,
insanely popular. I would say that's probably one of your most popular lines. The winning pose
uh,
ones.
yeah, the winning pose one, like the sprite sets.
Yeah.
So the
That
Akuma is the
oh
one that everybody wants,
oh my god, the
right?
Akuma pin. People go
This
nuts
one.
for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
But I can tell everyone that some more are coming. If you are part of our Facebook group, so I've made a Facebook group for official Udon Pin Facebook group.
yeah.
So join that one
I'll
because
put the
there are
link.
exclusive giveaways. Yeah, put a link,
I'll put the link in
Pete.
the
Uh,
underneath. Yeah.
yeah, because there are exclusive giveaways, there are exclusive items offered. We will put out previews of item there before anywhere else.
Yeah.
Um, and then also we have this thing called Warehouse Wednesday. So every Wednesday we're gonna offer something that is sold out already.
Retired.
Um,
Yeah. Retired pin.
retired, yeah, the retired pins like just like this past Wednesday.
It was the
I
Mega
don't know
Man.
when you're gonna put out.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
past Wednesday. Yeah.
yeah, past Wednesday, like we have the Mega Man, one of the original Mega Man pin, like this
Yeah.
one.
It like I
So we
went
we we
on.
we we, we put this one.
I saw you post. Um, I saw you post, and it was like, oh, they posted 20 minutes ago in the Udon pin group, and I went, oh, cool. I'll go and like pump it, like to like promote it a little bit, and then I literally saw underneath it was like sold out. I was like,
Yeah, you're too late.
oh, you have to be real quick. So if you do
Well,
join the
the
group,
truth
you
the
gotta be
truth is
fast.
the truth is, the Warehouse Wednesday stuff. It's something that we wanted to just give the fans like a one last chance to purchase something.
Yeah,
We actually literally sell out of all the stock that we have to bring to cons.
yeah,
So what
yeah, yeah,
happened is these things, like sometimes at cons I was like, hey Pete, I need some of these. Can you grab me a few because I have to go to a meeting, and
yeah,
then I stick it in my backpack, right? And then in the meeting, I'll give away some for like other licensors or
yeah,
some
yeah,
guys who wanted, hey, like this is good. So I randomly give away some pins for people for whatever reason it is. But there will be a few that's in my backpack all the
they
time.
float around. Yeah,
Um, yeah, they float around in this backpack or the other backpack. I have like 3 different backpacks. So lately, we're just cleaning up office, and then it's not just me. It could be some other
yeah.
guys.
I've got a
It could be
few like
Corey. It
random
could be Matt,
ones.
and you
Like
got a few. Yeah.
I'm always like,
So
oh, why
please,
have I got a Chun Li? I'm like,
yeah,
this is random. Yeah,
yeah,
you find them
yeah.
everywhere.
So we have. I throw everything in a box. And then now I take this box. I was like, hey, I have like 5 of these Mega Man heads floating around. I have like, like three Akumas here and
Hmm.
things like that. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should offer it up. But I don't want to put it up on the website saying that, oh, this is available as an item, because literally I have less than 10. I
Okay.
have maybe 5 or 6 or 7,
Six. So yeah, so it's
Uh,
definitely
yeah,
exclusive for the Facebook group,
yeah. So
the
I would
hardcore fans.
rather, like reward the fans who joined the group, and it was like, hey, like this is one last chance. I have like a couple of these. We're gonna put them at this uncertain time,
Yeah.
and then we normally give like a two. I would do a warning on the group. It's like, okay, it's dropping in the next 2 hours, type of thing, so people would know. Because there's a couple other things. Because some of the people in the groups been voicing the concern, going like, oh, like you're gonna get the eBay guys to come and just wipe it up.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to deter those a little
Right.
bit
Uh huh.
and try to get these into the hands of real fans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do.
I saw as well
Yeah,
that you were doing
but
things like when you had your 500th person like join the group, you gave them a Chun-Li pin. That was like so nice. It was just like, you're like, oh, you're a
yeah,
winner. You're the 500th
I'm
person
I'm
in.
waiting. I'm waiting for the 1,000th person now.
There you go,
You
guys. Go
know,
join the group.
we
You
are.
could
I
be
think we're
number
up to
1,000.
yeah, we're up to 700 something, and we've been only out for like a week,
It's a
so we
week,
got like
yeah.
700 something people joining. It's not too bad,
You're doing pretty good,
and
yeah.
yeah, and we just want to ramp up more members, and we're gonna have more fun stuff going on.
As well, I suppose
Um,
when as it grows more into a thing, like I did see you were doing like a poll that there were going to be like special club, like Facebook
yeah,
club
I kind of
version
want to,
variants and
yeah,
all that kind
the
of stuff.
variants and
Like,
stuff, because
yeah,
we're gonna have a lot more pins, in development.
hmm,
For those who like the Street Fighter winning pose ones, be aware, you need a bigger pin board. You need a bigger place
why
to
do this to
to
me?
pin your pins.
I honestly,
Well, no, I
hang
I I
on.
wanted to, like, the next time we're doing podcasts, your back wall will be like full of pins. That's
Well,
what
I
that's what you
have a
need. That's
pinball.
what
I
you need right
bought a
now.
cork board now. Like, honestly, I wasn't a pin guy before I met you. And everyone was like, be careful of Eric. He's going to get you into the pin thing. I was like, no, I work at Disney. I don't need pins.
Yeah,
I
you,
don't
you
like
never need
pins.
pins. You
I
work at
have
Disney, yeah.
pins coming out my ears. I can't deal with that. And now here I am with a legit board of a lot of pins now, and
I
like
mean,
ones
like,
from like
how,
little
how many
independent
characters? How many
artists.
char- how many characters are there in Alpha 3?
There's a lot. I mean, do you want to talk about that?
How many
Can we
characters are
talk
there in
about?
Alpha 3?
Yeah, how much?
Is
Can we
is how
talk?
many is
I
is
mean, we have
is how
seen a
much room do you
preview of it.
need at least?
I've seen a. We've seen a preview of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There
I
was a
posted a, I
preview.
posted the Nash.
I saw a
I posted a Nash
Nash.
in the group on Memorial Day, because like it's kind of like it's like it's Memorial Day.
I
Oh yeah,
reposted it on
right.
Twitter.
You remember Nash?
I reposted it on Twitter like a couple of days later, and
Yeah,
there was a lot of hype. Let's just say that. So everyone was like,
yeah,
"Oh my god!" And then everyone started listing characters that they wanted. So yeah, start looking out for
yes,
those pins. Are they going to
yes.
be exclusive to Udon Pins website?
Well, all the pins mostly are exclusive to Udon Pins website, because the way our deal is, like it's a direct sale deal.
Yeah,
It's not a wholesale deal
sure.
on the contracts. So we'll be directly selling those ourselves.
Would you
And
then bring that kind of stock over? Say New York Comic Con goes ahead, would you have some of that stock with you at New York Comic Con,
uh,
or would
if
that be like a
if New York
separate
Comic Con goes
entity?
ahead, if New York Comic Con goes ahead, then we probably will bring some of those for the fans. I just don't know if New York Comic Con will go ahead. Also, if they go ahead, I don't know. I need to try to work out if it's actually safe for us to go. There's a lot of things that's going ahead right now,
Yeah,
right? We're talking about reopening. I mean, like, even your boss is talking about reopening
Yeah,
Disney.
yeah.
Are
Everything's
they
like,
reopening? Are they reopening Disney in Europe? They're talking about the
um,
Florida one, I
I
think.
mean,
I think it's the
we
Florida
had
one that's
we
reopening
had
right
the
now.
announcement yesterday from our president, and he, from what I could gather, like, and what I saw people writing about, they said like Disney could open mid June, but only to 5,000 people. So it's like, what's the point? Like there's no way that they're gonna. I mean,
I don't.
they'd lose too much money because they would have to open everything,
Yeah, you
and
have to open. You have to have
there'd
the
be more
same staff, but then
staff
you only have 5,000 people.
for. I mean, like there's like 15,000. Well, I don't even know how many there is at Disney, but I think there's like
Yeah,
twenty
you
thousand
basically
people.
need the full staff, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
for something like
for
that, you
five
need the
thousand people,
full
it's not
staff
worth it. So
there. But for what is the I don't know what is the normal count the people count every day at Disney?
oh,
Definitely more than 5,000.
oh my god! Like no, I think the cap in um the studios park alone is like 30,000.
Jeez.
And then like
Okay.
with the other park as well, I think like it's like ninety
Yeah.
thousand or like 100,000 in the other park. So when we're at capacity, it's that, and it usually floats around. That I usually hear that they're usually at like, oh, there's 90,000 people in Park One, in the Magic Kingdom today,
No matter
and you're
no
like,
no
okay, that's
wonder
a good
no
day.
wonder why these lineups take so long.
Exactly right. Oh my god, yeah. So
Well, the last time I was at Disney, we went to the Florida Disney a couple years ago when the Frozen ride just came out.
oh yeah,
And yeah, and I'm a big Frozen fan, you know that.
I know.
Like my family loves Frozen. So we went to Epcot. It's in and it's I think it's the Norway Pavilion or something.
Yeah, they've got the ride there. Yeah,
So yeah, so we went to Epcot and we want to get into the Frozen ride. Even we bought the VIP ticket and everything.
yeah.
We can't get a fast pass at all for that one. And we walk up there and the thing says 3 hours. And we're like, you know what? I don't care how big a fan I am.
It's not
I'm
worth
not
it.
I'm not gonna stand there for three
It's too
hours to do a
much.
10-minute thing,
Yeah, 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 for
and then
sure.
that's it. It's just too much. And
Yeah.
and it was like, you know what? No, we can't do it.
Well, you'll have to come to
And
Disneyland
and
Paris because we've got a frozen land being built right now. It's like a whole land, and we get having Elsa's castle and everything built. So
yeah,
there
I,
you
I
go.
definitely will want to do that because I think well, I've been to the Hong Kong one, of course.
Yeah,
And I've been to the Japan one. I've been to the two American ones. The Europe, Paris and Shanghai are the two that I've
you
never
haven't
been
been
to.
yet. There you go. You've got to tick them off the list
Yeah, someday,
someday.
someday.
So, like
Not
saying,
this year.
not that, yeah, not this year.
Yeah, I
2020 is
don't.
cancelled.
It's crazy. It's crazy because like at the end of last year, remember at the end of San Diego, we talked about it. It's like, man, like I hope that next year, I can slow down a little bit and do less traveling. And I was like, yeah, now I got my wish, but I did not expect to be zero traveling.
Yeah, like zero is, is from like less to like zero is definitely a big change. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
think a
I mean,
little
like
bit of traveling's fine.
we did, we did PAX East,
Uh-huh.
and that was kind of borderline pushing it. We were so concerned. It's like, are we going? Are we not going? It's at the beginning of this whole,
Yeah, I remember you
whole
guys
COVID
going, and I
thing,
was like, I can't
and it
believe,
was like,
yeah, because we were
yeah, are we
already in
going? Are we not
lockdown.
going?
Like by that time, we were like, it was happening.
There's some. It's not as bad at that time. I
Yeah,
think Boston only has one case
yeah,
for that particular weekend. Boston only has one or two cases.
uh huh,
Toronto has four or five at that time.
yeah,
So it's not like exploding. I think California has more. We were a little concerned. Our staff, like Janice is wearing a mask all the time.
yeah, for sure.
I was kind of like debating about it, but then you look at the whole show, nobody is wearing a mask at all at that time. So I'm a mask advocate.
Yeah,
Like
for
for
sure.
those who hated masks, hang me. But I honestly believe if we can wear a mask and slow down the whole thing. Yeah, nobody said wearing a mask is 100% fail-proof thing.
No,
Nobody said that.
no, 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 no,
But
no.
but for all that we know, I look at my hometown, Hong Kong. I look at Japan.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing a mask, and this whole thing just slowed down so quickly because everybody's wearing a
Wearing a
mask.
mask. Yeah,
That's one
absolutely.
of the reasons, and
Yeah.
one of the difference between the Western world and the Eastern world is the Eastern world people, they are used to
Wearing a
wearing a mask,
mask.
and nobody's going to point fingers saying that, hey, like you're sick wearing a mask. No, it's like it's a deterrent because
Absolutely.
we don't know who is sick.
Yeah.
So everybody wearing a mask, it's to protect everyone else. It's not to only protect yourself, it's to protect everyone else. And it's a respect for everyone else too.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that, right?
Yeah. Um,
So
Sort of circling back onto like what originally got you into like pop culture and like gaming and stuff like that. I mean, I know your background is you came from like the toy world,
yeah,
didn't
I
you?
do toys. So back in the days, um, it's funny because I actually graduated interior design.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, I wasn't a business person. I wasn't like everything that I learned how to run a business comes from the interior design school doing the design business, which actually works out on the Udon side of things because as an interior designer, you're basically like a freelance artist type of deal,
Yeah. Sure.
right? You basically have clients to deal with all the time. So at the end, when we would go to school, we were told that if you don't like something, but your client likes it, you still have to make it work.
Yeah.
You still
Absolutely.
have to you still have to do it. That's what like being a professional designer is, and those are the things that I learned, and pretty much basically that's how it goes.
Hmm.
um I always joked about it, like when I was in design school, because when we were doing projects and the teacher doesn't like it, even how much no it doesn't matter how much I personally think that this works, if the teacher comes in, the professor goes like, no, I don't think it works, I hated it, then you got
Yeah.
a bad mark. So at the end of the day, being a designer, that's how being an interior designer, design is not masturbation. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, it's basically you have to please the other guy, not
You're
yourself.
not yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So that kind of prepares me for doing doing the jobs from different clients, I
Yeah.
guess. But in the meantime, after school, it was like a recession in Toronto.
Hmm.
And the first thing people cut are designers, especially interior designers, because
Okay.
like residential design was big when I was, when I enrolled in interior
Right.
design school.
And then
Um,
yeah.
commercial design was like a major thing.
Hmm.
Downtown at that time when I get into interior design, downtown has 7 big bank buildings building,
Yeah.
like the development projects are going up. But on the fourth year, which is the last year, those
Nothing.
projects got on hold for a lot of different reasons. There are the union striking, there's recession, there's everything. So we are talking about all these bank towers that you see downtown Toronto right now.
Yeah.
Those are half built, and then they stopped for like almost 2 years,
Uh huh.
and that is when we graduate. So we have no jobs because it was very prospective on the third year. It's like, oh, next year you graduate, those buildings are all going to be up, and then those are like we're talking about, about 10,000, 20,000
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
offices, corporate offices that need design work. So interior design is going to be great. Nope,
No.
it's dead.
Dead.
So I got a couple freelance thing. I've got a couple freelance gig going, and nothing happens afterwards.
Hmm.
And I was looking for something to do, and I was building. I like to build model kits. I
Uh
like to
huh.
do like figure model kits. So what I
Okay.
did is like I was purchasing these Star Trek The Next Generation model kits,
Okay. Yeah.
from this company called Geometric
Uh
Designs
huh.
in the States. Um, and I found out that they don't have any distribution in Canada. So I went up to talk to them and say, hey, can I be your distributor? I can sell some here. And that's how I started being a business person.
Oh, that's so
It's Star
interesting.
Trek. Yeah, that's why like I always go like Star Trek Next Generation to me. It's a very big deal in my life. I really like that show. I learned a lot from Captain Picard being a diplomat
Uh huh.
works. And also and you know, and the fact that, I started my entrepreneur life,
Through
like doing
Star
Star Trek
Trek. Yeah,
before.
that's awesome.
Um, yeah, so with Star Trek comes Star Wars.
So,
That's the other big
the
thing,
other big
that,
love.
that yeah,
Okay.
the other big love.
So,
I'm not a big Star Trek original series fan. Like Kirk and Spock and stuff, they're like when I was a kid, I watched them.
uh-huh.
It doesn't kind of gel with me when I was a kid. But Star Wars,
The
I
originals.
I, I remember there was no VHS at that time. I remember like my father likes the 8 millimeter film thing. So we have an 8 millimeter film projection, and he always shoot 8 mm films and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And after he went to a business trip, he bought a 8 millimeter film roll of Star Wars,
Uh-huh.
and he brought it back. And then we have been watching it every night. Me and my brother is like watching it every night.
Oh wow.
It's a truncated version. It's very funny. I remember it was a truncated version, so it's not like the full
Full
movie.
movie. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's not the full movie. It,
highlights.
it was just like one small roll of 8 mm film, and it's a digested version
Yeah.
almost.
Just the highlights. The
So yeah, it's like a highlight reel type of thing. But we
wow.
watched it every night.
Every
We would
night.
like switch off the light and we watch it every night. And I remember that one time that the projector actually, like got stuck,
Uh-huh.
and the film just started burning, and it was
No.
like, oh, what happened? And it burned. Yeah, yeah, but my dad knows how to fix it, so he actually like cut it and tape it back, and then there
Saved
was
it.
this little glitch.
Saved it.
Yeah, there
Oh
was
no,
always
so you
that
had a
little
little
glitch
jump in
that
it.
one frame's missing. Yeah, remember that so vividly.
Oh my
And
god.
we were talking about when I was like 8 years old or so, eight,
Uh-huh.
9 years old or so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do
But
you
Star Wars is always the thing until the VHS tape thing. Then I can actually watch the
watch
whole
it
Star
for
Wars.
the proper thing?
Yeah.
Do you have like a you guys like have so many franchises that you guys work with? Like I it's I, I couldn't even say all of them. I mean, it's like Persona,
I
Street
mean,
Fighter,
between
Darkstalkers, Rival Schools, Mega Man. I'm
yeah,
like
mostly Capcom stuff,
a lot of
because we
Capcom
love
stuff.
Capcom.
But then,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a
But
lot of other stuff that.
with the client jobs, we have done a lot of different things too,
Yeah, but
right?
is there a
Like
dream franchise that you were like, oh, I wish we had that one?
uh I
One
mean,
that you don't currently have.
per, pers- personally, um I would love to work on something Mazinga,
Uh huh.
because I'm that old school fan.
Mazinger.
Mazinga, Mazinga and Getarobo, those Shogun Warriors
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
robots and
yeah.
stuff. I would love to do something with that, just because. Um, we well, no, we have done something Transformers too.
Mhm.
So Transformers GI Joe, we have done something with Devil's Due back in the days.
Mhm.
I have personally done Star Wars, with the model kits, and with my model kits and stuff, and then
Yeah.
things. I don't know, like I think like even like the few love that I have in my life, uh, from recent stuff like Evangelion,
Mhm. Yeah.
to old school stuff like Gatchaman, Battle of Planets. I've done them all, so I'm
Yeah, yeah,
pretty
yeah. The
happy.
Evangelion pins are
Um,
amazing as well.
yeah, there'll be more. We're working on some more, but I would say if one thing that it's like I like that I have never touched yet would be Gundam.
Uh huh.
Yeah, it would like like either old school stuff like Mazingas and stuff, which is super old school,
Yeah.
or it would be Gundam, that is something that I have never touched yet,
Yeah.
which is like one of my favorite anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've you must have like you said you've kind of worked with so many people and everything. I mean, like what kind of who are the kind of like highlight people that you've like met on your journey? I remember you running up to me as Comic Con and you met Ming Na Wen. You're like, I met Chun Li.
No, last year Comic Con is definitely like a highlight because thank you to my friend. I have to give her a call out, Mari Morimoto. My friend actually hooked me up, and she got all these like signing tickets, for Marvel events and stuff, and
Yeah.
then she tagged me along, so I got to meet the whole cast of Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
Which like interestingly, I just watched the new season
Uh-huh.
premiere this morning, and it's really nice. I'm so glad that the show still has
It's
this
still
one
going.
season
Yeah.
to give us like a proper send off and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I really like that show. And I got to meet the cast, and then I'm not supposed to have a poster. The funny story about that was Mari Mari took me there because she has a disabled badge, and then she can tag along a handler. So
Yeah.
she was like, "You want to come with me?" I was like, "Cool."
You
But
want to be my
then those
handler?
people are, don't, yeah, I'll be the handler. But those people are so stringent on making sure that only the guy who has to win the signing ticket
Right.
would have would have a chance to do signing.
I
And
see. Yeah,
me
yeah,
being just a handler, I'm not supposed to have a poster. So we went up
yeah.
there, and Mari has a poster, and then I was trying to get a poster, and it's like, "You have a ticket?" I said, "No, I don't want a ticket. I'm a handler." And then she was like, "Nope, one ticket, one poster." I was like, "Oh, okay,
Uh,
fine." But I still have to meet the guy, which is nice.
yeah.
So I went up there, and then it was Henry Simmons, the guy who played Mac,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there first, and then it was like like Yo-Yo, and then Deke, and then Quake, and all those. So it was really nice. And then the first two of them, they signed Maurice poster, and they walk by, and then it's me standing up to them, and I say hi to them. I was like, like, "You're great. I really like the show and stuff." So I chatted with them a little bit,
Yeah.
but they were both looking at me like
I've got nothing to
holding
sign.
the Sharpie. It was like, what's going on here?
What's
Why is this guy no poster? Then I get to the third guy, Jeff Ward, who plays Deke,
uh-huh.
and Jeff was like, "Hey," I was like, "Yeah, you killed it last week. It's like really good because last week's episode, he did a really good job and stuff. So you killed it last week. I really liked what happened there."
Yeah.
And it was like, "Where's your poster?" I said, "I don't have a poster. I'm just her handler. They won't give me a poster." I said, "What?" And then he actually waved. The person's like, "I need a poster here." So I got a poster because he's so nice to me. So also, so I have to give a shout out to Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward,
Jeff,
the guy who played Deke at Agents of Shield. Like you made my day that day
that's
because
awesome.
he asked the guy, gave me a poster, and then I have to backtrack, to the other
Go the other.
two, and
Go the
now they
other
know
place.
what's going on. It was like, oh, okay, and then they quickly sign, and I keep going, and then I got everybody to sign,
Excellent.
and now I have this really nice, poster that I got signed, by the whole cast of Agents of Shield, which is
Nice.
is something that I'm going to cherish forever,
That's
right?
brilliant.
And it's funny because that's like one of the biggest geek out moment for me at San Diego. I mean, like you have been with me at San Diego for years,
Yeah.
and you've never seen me doing something like that because I never get around to do something like that.
Yeah, I
Last
mean,
year is
you're
the
like,
first year
you're
that I got
always in
around to do
meetings.
something.
I like see you, you come
Yeah,
in, you're like, hi, 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 and then you're like
yeah,
in meetings all day for things.
yeah. It's funny because every single year I got to go to San Diego for like the last 20 something years, beyond Udon.
Uh huh.
Before Udon, when I was doing toys and stuff, I was in San Diego already.
Yeah.
So I every time I got friends who are not in the industry go like, "Oh my God, you got to go to San Diego. Do you meet these like movie stars? You do this?
It's too
Like you go
busy.
to Hall H?" I was like,
You have
"You know
nothing.
what?
You have
I've
no
never been
time.
to Hall H.
No.
I've never been to Hall H.
I've never been.
I've never been to any other panels
No, I've.
ever
I think
because
the
I
only
won't
panel
have
I've
time
been to is
camping
the
out."
Udon panel.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we all stop and we
exactly.
go and watch the Udon panel.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
the Udon panel, and then that's it. I've never been to any other panels. I really want to go to some of those panels,
Mm,
but I never get a chance to do that because I don't have time camping out
yeah.
at night to go and get tickets. And also, camp out outside beforehand to go in,
Yeah.
and,
It's too
and all
long. It's
sorts of
too
things. It's like,
much.
no, yeah. San
It.
Diego to me is work.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Last year, thanks to Mari, that's the only time of the 20 something years of San Diego experience that I got to meet, a celebrity. Oh, no, actually, no, no, no. There's one time, about 3 years ago, I almost killed Nathan Fillion. It was
Why did you almost kill this?
so you know where our booth is, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
at almost like Hall G.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
near
we're at
Bob's
Hall G.
Burgers and like
Yeah.
all that
So
stuff, and just
Hall H is right next to us.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And all the celebrities will go to Hall H for their panels and stuff.
yeah.
And that year, I have to go to the back of the hall to get something from the docks.
Uh-huh.
So I just go over there and I just open the door and I just push the door in and then boom, the door hits one
Oh,
guy's face, and the guy's like, ow. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I looked, that's Nathan Fillion. And he was trying to peek out of the door to see if
they
he's
were
in
gonna
the
bring
right
Firefly
place.
back, thanks, and you killed it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was asking me like, what hall is this? I was like, this is Hall G. And it was like,
Oh
oh,
my
I
god,
need to
that's
go to
so
this
funny.
booth. And it turns out that he's looking for my friend Jason Palmer, the guy who did these really, really, really nice sci-fi paintings.
Paintings, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's looking for my friend Jason because like Jason did a whole bunch of Firefly paintings.
Uh-huh.
So he's actually looking for Jason. So he asked me, like, I'm looking for this booth. I was like, oh no, you're looking for my friend. So yeah, go out here, make a left. Go straight down and then make a left. You see him. He's like a big booth there.
That's
But then it's like I literally almost killed him because I heard the door bang on his head so bad. It's like boom. And it
oh my
was like,
god. You broke his face.
and I feel bad. Yeah, back in the days, you don't have phone. Like, my phone back then is not a great phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't have
A good camera and
I don't
stuff.
have like a good camera and everything, or else I would have asked him for his picture,
He's
to
bleeding,
prove that
but
I almost killed him.
can
It
I
would be
get a
like
picture?
funny.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
Yeah, that is my very first celebrity encounter
There you
in San Diego
go.
Comics.
How Erik Ko almost killed
Killed
Nathan
Nathan
Fillion.
Fillion.
Perfect. I do have to ask you, I've been eyeballing it all the way through the interview. What's going on behind you there? There's some sketchy looking things. Yeah, those things.
Those are actually signing board sketches from the Capcom senseis. So I got to meet most of the Capcom guys during my work.
So who are we talking? We
At,
talking
uh,
like
you know,
are we
at
talking
Udon.
like Akiman? Are we talking
So yeah,
Kinu? We're
this one,
talking all of
this
them.
one. Okay, I can break it
Oh
down.
my god, this is gonna I'm gonna cry. I'm literally gonna cry.
Uh,
Yeah.
Can we see?
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, so
Now
that
you
that's
don't need to
definitely
see
it.
me.
Yeah,
Screw
that's
that. You don't need to see me.
oh my god.
So this one is Kinu Sensei.
Oh my god.
This one's Akiman.
Akiman, yeah, I can tell. I
Yeah,
recognize.
and this is Bengus.
This is a Bengus, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a Bengus.
Oh my god.
And then at the bottom here, so I need to
Oh my god.
make sure that
Careful, yeah, careful.
yeah. So at the bottom here, we have Ikeno
Oh my god.
and we have Shinkiro,
Oh my god.
which is like Capcom versus SNK,
Yeah.
and this one is Itomami.
Oh my god.
Itomami is the one who did the Street Fighter manga,
Manga, yeah.
like one of the Street Fighter
Oh
mangas.
my god.
Yeah, so they
Oh.
did.
Yeah, I'll take
They
it.
all they
I
do
want one.
they do a sketch. Yeah, I know it's one of my very it's one of my prized
Oh my god, yeah.
possession.
I can't even okay, please don't break it. Don't break
Yeah.
it for God's sake.
Let's slip it behind this thing.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
that is one of the things that I got
Did you get the
like
chance to
during
meet
my
all
time
of them?
of publishing.
I know you.
Yeah, I met all of them.
I know you
You know,
met
they
because you had Akiman at the booth, huh?
yes, that one year we are very honored to have Akiman Sensei at the booth doing signings, and we do a special Akiman edition of the Street Fighter book.
I
For
can't
sale.
even I know how crazy the booth gets.
He was so professional. Akiman Sensei was so professional that year. He was supposed to only do a 1 hour signing.
Yeah. I can
Um,
imagine the line
then
was like ridiculous. I can't even when we have Ono at the booth, it's madness. But with
oh, the
Akiman,
Akiman line is crazy.
I
We
can't
almost
even.
got shut down by the San Diego people.
I'm.
You know how rude some of the San Diego's, like security
Oh,
guys
I
are, and they
know.
don't give a shit.
I know.
They don't give a shit. It
I've
was like,
had
you can't
words.
block this.
Yeah.
This is like, yeah,
Yeah.
you've
I'm
been
like,
there.
talk to Bob's Burgers.
So yeah, I know, right? It's like
Their
the
lines always
the guy
have
next to us
control.
is always have a line, and then now we have another line, and then they're freaking out at our line and not their line. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? But anyway, like that year we have that signing. It was a little messy, but I got luckily, like the guys like Jenny is handling it at that time.
Yeah.
Indeed,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
handled it really well. We got a couple other people, helping out. Like figuring things out. Uh, but it ended up being a 2.5 hour thing.
Holy smokes.
Because we were like, okay, it's going to be an hour, and he's supposed to just sign, shake the hands of the guy, and then next.
Yeah.
But then he ended up insisting on drawing a little chibi Chun-Li for everyone. And he said he can do it. I was like, Sensei, you don't have to, but he really wants to. So I was like, okay, but I know that it's going to overrun.
Yeah.
And then he did one of these, similar to what I have.
Yeah.
He did one of these as a one-off, to give away to one of the fans, and that he's supposed to do it at the Udon panel.
Uh-huh.
But the time of his signing
Ran into
supposedly
the
it
panel.
ends in 1 hour, and then it's like an hour later the panel happens.
Uh-huh. Oh shoot.
So when he finishes signing, it's 2.5 hours later. It's half an hour into the Udon panel already.
Oh my
And
God.
I wasn't there because I had to go up to the Udon panel to
Yeah.
to be at the panel talking. But later on, when I get back, I was told after 2.5 hours, and he know that he has to go up to the Udon panel too. But the first thing that he said is, "I have to pee." He was so professional that he hold off not going to the bathroom until he finished everybody's autograph.
I love him. That's amazing.
That is how professional Akiman
He's...
Sensei is. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
I have utmost respect, because anybody else
would have been like,
would be like,
out.
hold on, I have to go to the bathroom now, come back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want, a person with his status. He is Akiman. He is like one of the Capcom gods, right?
Oh
and then
my God, yeah.
He would not want to stop the line to go to the bathroom.
That's unbelievable.
He would hold and hold until 2.5 hours later. He finished everything.
Wow.
Then the person goes like, I have to pee. And then he runs to the bathroom and he run upstairs to the panel and present the drawing. It's like crazy.
Wow.
I feel so grateful, of having him there that year.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. I actually, when was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. I actually got to meet Kiki through you, who was amazing.
Yes.
I love Kiki, and I've stayed in touch with Kiki through Instagram.
Oh yeah,
we talk all the time. He's so nice.
Yes.
Like,
yes, Kiki is great. Kiki is very social too,
and his artwork is just insane. I love his stuff, and he's so he churns it out. Like, I can't even imagine how much work he does for all of the
it's funny, because
the Capcom profiles. He's done every single character in the world. I'm like,
he's very quick too, I heard. Yes.
He's insane. Like, it's so much work. And then he's doing all of his personal projects as well. Like, he's always got a new artwork up every day on his Instagram. And
yeah, he really likes to draw. He's like Chamba. He draws draws all the time.
Yeah.
Like Chamba, the our Udon artist Chamba.
Yeah.
Which actually I gotta do a shameless plug here, because we are having
Chamba's book.
A crowdfunding project on Chamba's book, called Random Views. So randomviews.com. Be sure to go and support that book.
Yeah.
You can
I'm
put a tag.
I'm gonna ask Chamba to come on the podcast and sort of like I think it would be fun to have Chamba on actually, and then
Yeah,
he can talk about his book and stuff as well, and all the other stuff that
yeah.
the
So
millions of other things he's done as
we're
well.
doing
But
his crowdfunding project right now.
yeah, I'll put the link in
So, but
the description.
Chamba is always also like amazing.
Yeah,
You know, like I really admire these guys like Kiki or Chamba. You know, like they just love to draw. They just can't stop drawing. They just keep
even
drawing
if
and
it's for
drawing
from
everything and
themselves, it's
anything.
like
Yeah,
Rob as well.
yeah,
Rob's always drawing.
yeah. Rob's doing those things. Yeah, Rob, and then Edwin. You know, like they're
Edwin, they're
all doing
always.
that
I mean,
too.
they all do. You know, they all.
Yeah,
They all do. It's absolutely insane.
it's very inspiring.
Yeah, it is to be around that kind of level of talent and passion for their craft. It's
Indeed, indeed.
so inspiring. Well, what we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier when you were saying about like being a good all rounder, but what kind of advice would you give somebody who was maybe I get asked all the time. There's like my number one thing is how can I work for Udon? And I'm like,
It's funny because I actually answered the same exact question like yesterday on Facebook. Somebody Facebook messaged me
yeah,
on the Udon page, and then they were like, "I really want to work for Udon. Tell me, how do I get hired?" And the funny thing is, I don't. So as I said, back to the story, Udon started off as a group of artists just because we have to do this Burger King job for Marvel. So without Marvel, there would be no Udon. Let's
yeah,
put it this way. I'll be forever grateful to Joe Quesada, my good friend, who gave us this chance to break into the comic book industry.
uh-huh.
Um, and also without Capcom, there would be no Udon in terms of publishing because, at that time when everybody's not interested in doing Street Fighter, we actually walk up to Capcom,
Yeah,
uh, uh, and Capcom actually trusted us with the license of Street Fighter
mm-hmm.
and let us do the comics, back in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about 18 years ago. It's when we negotiated that, and then the first comic comes out 17 years ago at 2003, and it changes our lives,
Yeah,
basically from just freelance artists to become, to become like a publisher,
yeah,
and then so we started doing all sorts of different work, from doing, but without Capcom trusting on the Street Fighter, we won't be here as a publisher.
yeah,
So the funny thing is when we do the Marvel versus Capcom book, that book means so much to me because it's Marvel and Capcom together.
yeah. It's like the joining
Those
of
two
two.
companies that
Yeah,
trusted Udon, and then kind of like give us our first break to be who we are today.
uh-huh.
Um, but a lot of things are by chance. A lot of things are just by chance. Um, it's of course working hard is the most important thing to
Yeah,
become who you want to be. Either you want to be an artist, you want to be a doctor, you want to be an accountant, it doesn't matter. You have to work hard.
yeah,
You have to show that you can do it, right? So, as an artist, my advice is you need to prepare and make sure that you have like a well-rounded portfolio.
mm-hmm.
Um, so many people come up to me and say, "Are you hiring? Do you want to see my portfolio?" And you open up the portfolio, there's only like 4 pieces of art.
E.
I was like, "You have anything else?" And it was like, "Oh, I have tons of stuff online." And
Right.
it was like, "Yeah, then bring your iPad."
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like,
you've got to show what you've got to
yeah.
show you. You
If
know.
you if you if you print out something and you expect me to go through that little binder of yours to look at things, then show me everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Um, these are some of the techniques that like that the school doesn't. The school
Teach
won't
you.
teach you. The school will
Yeah.
teach you how to draw. Like the school would teach you, and the human anatomy. The school might teach you little things here and there, how to do Photoshop or Illustrator or whatnot. But then there's something. It's the interaction and presentation and all this kind of stuff you really really need to learn,
Yeah. You have to
and you really need
market
to understand.
yourself at the end of the
Yeah,
day
you
because
need to
you're a
understand
product.
how to impress that other person,
The client. Yeah.
and but also in terms of impress is you have to let your work speak for yourself. Don't go out and say, like I'm very good at this, and then you open, and then people open up and it's like, yeah, you're okay, and I have I have I have people coming over. So so instead of saying what to do, let's say what not to do. Because
Okay.
these are the things that a lot of people don't tell you.
Okay.
Is like I have people coming over and it was like, my brother can draw better than this guy that you hired.
Ooh.
And then I look at him, was like, yeah, so show me your brother's stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And then like half an hour later, he brings his brother over. And then he tried to sell his brother. And then you look at his brother's stuff, it's like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
got
alright.
potential. It got potential. Yeah, but then definitely not better than, you know, the
Who's
guys
driving?
working here.
Yeah, who's drawing right in front
Yeah,
of them? Yeah.
so one of the things is like it doesn't matter how good you are, you got to let your work show rather than boast about it yourself.
Yeah.
If like we are editors and we are professional to know who's good and who's not. So you don't have to tell me, if you're good or not. We will know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And basically you are asking us to be the judge of your work. So pretty much not on an egotistic standpoint that we need to be over your words, but honestly, it's better off that we discover your talent than you touting it before we even look at anything.
Yeah.
The other couple of things that I also found that it would be a problem are people defending themselves too much when we are telling you something needs to be improved.
Yeah.
So we have people coming in and it was like, hey, you see this, if you do a little bit different, try a little different angle to this. This
Hmm.
is way too exaggerated. It kind of lost the realistic things of this.
Yeah.
Especially the exaggerating part, because like some guys would like to go out all out, and it was like, oh, this is my style, and it was like, I understand this is your style, but then if you're doing commercial work, then if the client needs you to dial it
Tone
down,
it down just a
I need
little
to
bit.
be able
Yeah.
to see, yeah, I need to be able to see that you can do it,
Yeah.
right? And it was like, no, I want to keep my style. It's like, all right, again, back to the thing.
Yeah.
It's not masturbation.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah. You're being
that's
hired
the
for a
thing.
job.
You have to understand what your client needs over. You have to put your client's need over your need in
Hmm.
order to be able to get hired, because
Absolutely.
this is commercial work.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand it. Like either creator-owned comic, even though you're doing a creator-owned comic, if it's something that doesn't appeal to the general audience, if it's like too out there,
Uh huh.
and you're gonna go like, I don't understand why nobody wants it. It's because like you're stretching it too far
I mean,
sometimes.
you even see that like when you go down Artist Alley, like everyone is drawing. I want to say like the same kind of thing because it's what the people want. Like you go down and
The
everyone's
anime
got like
shows.
yeah.
I gotta tell you, like the comic book Artist Alley, it's not as bad as the anime Artist Alley.
Oh really?
The anime shows Artist Alley, I can't find anyone. It was like everyone has this cage. Nowadays, everyone has this cage and wall of prints.
Yeah.
And you want to find someone. It's like, wait, no. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
And there is like no variety at all. And
Hmm.
then they're drawing the same characters to tell the prints. Everybody is having Dragon Ball and Naruto and
Yeah, and My Hero, and
and
it's like
recent,
all the same. Yeah.
well, recently is Dragon Slayers
Dragon Slayer.
and Haikyuu and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm not dissing these guys. Like a lot of those guys are really talented, but
Yeah.
then at the end you realize that a lot of those guys are very cookie cutter too,
Uh huh.
and you have to somehow put some personality in your work,
Yeah.
rather than trying to copy a style, trying to mimic a style.
Have a
Like,
point of
yeah, mimic would
difference.
be a better word than copy.
Yeah.
I think, like to mimic a style is good. Everything started with mimic. I mean, like, I think everybody when they were a kid, but they want to draw, they started, copying and mimicking the stuff that they
The
like.
stuff that they like. Yeah.
But as
Everyone
you
is more
grow,
drawn to one
you have to
sort of thing.
break through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
have to somehow break through and then, start adding some personality into your artwork, and that is when you started standing out from the crowd,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, like just for an example, like one of my friends, Absalom. Um,
Oh yeah, like
I've known
he
him
did he did the he did the he
the
did the
the
cover
cover.
for our
So I've
friends
known
with
him
it's
for
so good.
maybe like 3 or 4 years, and he did the cover for our Darkstalkers 25th anniversary fan
Right.
art book that we did. And I've been friends with him many years, and I literally went back in my thing, like scrolled back when he was saying, because it was around the same time that I started working with you guys, and he was like, "Oh God, I would love to work for Udon." I was like my dream, and he'd like entered so many of your like fan art competitions and not even been like taken in, like included, you know. And then I just sent him a message like 2 days ago, and I was like, "Look at you, Mr. Cover Artist. You know, like he's been
Well,
grinding for a
he
couple of
improved a
years,
lot.
and his
Yeah,
work
I
is
mean, like
so
I
phenomenal."
remember some of his. Well, I remember, like some of his original entries when we were doing the tribute books and stuff,
Yeah,
and it was nothing like what he does nowadays.
yeah.
So yeah, how do you get to work with Udon? I mean, like keep trying,
Don't be
and keep
discouraged.
improving,
Yeah,
when we get to a point that we need someone in a specific style, or we can recognize that you improve, then we'll give you a shot.
exactly.
There's the thing about Udon is we don't constantly put out a lot of content
Hmm.
like DC or Marvel. They're big companies. They are more focused on comic book publishing.
Yeah.
uh I always position Udon as more of a boutique, like a boutique publisher,
Hmm.
that we just take on these little projects, but we want to make them look really, really good.
Yeah.
And we want to make something, and we want to focus on making that something.
Yeah.
So we're not going all out to do like 5, 6 different projects at a time,
Uh huh.
but we do things like one at a time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes time. For example, one of our recent release, The Rose of Versailles,
Hmm.
which is like a really, really like you know classic Japanese manga. I don't know if you know about this. It's Rose of Versailles.
Like the manga classics line that you guys have.
No, the manga classics line is a completely different
Oh, is
thing.
it?
It's a
Oh, is
totally
there
different.
not? Oh no, no.
This
Actually,
is the
that's the
Udon.
Udon. Well, yeah. Sorry, sorry.
That's the yeah. That is the. This book is being called as the queen of shoujo manga,
Okay.
because it's like one of the most classic title from the 70s.
Hmm.
That is like one of the best sellers from the 70s. And it took me about 4.5 years, to talk to the licensing people
Wow.
of this book, to actually get the trust
Uh huh.
to entrust us on doing this.
Uh
And
huh.
it took me another 3.5 years to actually get this book out,
Wow.
because it's a very personal project. So this is one of the things that is like, when you ask me what do you want to do, like this is one of the books that I really want to put out.
Uh huh.
There are a couple other books like these, the Japanese manga that I want to do too, but at this point, let's finish this one first, then we'll go to the next
We'll
one.
work on to the next one.
But this one, we work very hard to make sure that we include like every single thing back from the original publication.
Wow.
There are like new color pages in there. This is like a 500-page volume.
It's
And then we
huge.
have all these like super nice spot
It's
gloss
super. Yeah.
and foil effects on everything.
I mean, that's one
So
thing I
we
say
really
about you guys is
happy.
like you always put out like really high quality stuff. Like it always is gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? Like even down to the cover of that book, it's got that like lovely thing, like with the t-shirts with the like the I
Yeah,
mean with
the
the
we
metal
want to
like
kick that one off.
and
We
like the
we really want to kick
pins
that
and
one
stuff.
off.
They feel like weighty and they feel like good quality stuff. You know, that's what I love. Like
Because honestly, nowadays, the way I feel is, I'm a collector myself.
yeah.
As you know, I buy a lot of stuff. I need to stop, but
That honestly, that is
stop.
the biggest
Yeah.
understatement I've ever
Look,
heard
look,
in
look, look,
my
look at that.
life.
I just got the Boba Fett helmet in the other day,
Oh God. Like honestly,
and
your reach is like like you've got people in every country scouting things for you.
Yes.
True or false?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
not get
True.
something delivered to my
True.
mother's house in England last
Yes.
week?
Yes. Now I just recruited your mom.
You're like, can she get it delivered in? Yeah, it's fine. She's like,
Yes.
I
Now
just
I
got this
recruited your
box
mom.
from Lego and from the Disney store.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect.
So for me, I looked at everything as a collectible item.
Yeah.
And I feel that nowadays, with ebooks and everything that is electronic,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't like a lot of people don't need the physical stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like how many times do you buy books, or now you read books through Kindle or iPads or everything,
Yeah.
and how are you going to convince a person to actually buy a physical book? And it has to has value. It has to be like a nice hardcover,
Yeah.
a nice package with great cover art and everything. It has to be something that
They want to keep.
people
Yeah.
want to collect, want to
Yeah.
keep. And all the books that we're doing, that's why recently, like we have been doing reprints of hardcovers now. Like you can see these Mega Man books here.
Yeah.
They like we bring all these books back in hardcover edition because of the fact that it becomes more
Collectible.
valuable to
Yeah.
to the Mega Man fans. It's something that they could be proud of having on the shelves or putting at the coffee table or something. It's like nice coffee table books
Yeah.
always, hit people on the want list, right? So the latest one would be the swimsuit edition.
Ooh.
Like Rob did a
Rob with the cover.
gorgeous cover.
I can't
Yeah, and
believe
then
that he does all of that on Procreate on the iPad. Like that's his new. It's
He's
insane.
crazy.
I mean, it's insane. I just don't even understand. He has tutorials that you can buy online actually, and I'm like, I think I need to like learn. From
I don't
the
know. I don't
master.
know how he can do it on iPad.
No,
I mean, like
he's
I
insane.
can't even do it on a computer.
He's a real master of that program. Like the level of quality that he can get from that program, like a $10
Yeah,
program
basically,
on
I think he
iPad
basically ditched the Cintiq and then he started using the iPad, which is like, what?
Yeah. But a lot of people do. Like a lot of people have been like ditching it. I mean, it is a very intuitive. Like I've been trying a little bit myself, and it is quite intuitive. It's really nice. I remember giving it to Janice to try, one of the other Udon employees.
I
And she
actually
was like,
wanted
"Oh my god, I
to
need
try
one of
it
these."
out, but I only have the first generation of the large iPad,
Uh-huh.
so I can if I need because I
You need
hold
the
off
Pro, yeah.
buying like Apple Pencil.
Uh-huh.
I have a Pro, but then it was the first generation of the 13-inch Pro.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I think mine can only use the first generation
Pencil.
Apple
Yeah.
Pencil.
Because I've got
Yeah.
the new one.
The new
So
one,
nice.
you, you do like magnetic charge or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
But mine not support the new one, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't tried it out yet. That's why.
Next time you're at the con, steal Rob's. No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try this
I'll
out.
probably do that.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to give you the quick fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay, let's do
These
that.
are like super quick. So this is just to wrap up quickly. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Describe yourself in a hashtag.
Udon underling.
Best advice you'd give your teenage self.
What again? Sorry.
Best advice you'd give your teenage self.
Go get a job.
Okay. Favorite app on the phone.
Favorite app on the phone.
Game or social media app or.
I don't know. I mean, like, I play Wordscape a lot.
Wordscape? I'll take that as an answer.
Yeah, I play Wordscape a lot just to like
unwind.
Like wind down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game of all time?
Clax.
Clax. What's
Yeah.
your favorite movie of all time?
Klax.
Klax. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh, good. Your favorite anime of all time?
Has to be Gundam, the original Gundam.
The original. Your favorite music? Like your favorite artist? Or...
I like Michael Jackson.
Michael?
Wham. Actually, Wham.
Wham?
Wham.
Okay.
Wham.
What are you listening to right now? Do you have on your playlist when you're driving?
I don't actually, because the last few months I actually don't listen to music much when I work. Because there's a lot of things happening, right? Contract stuff.
Yeah.
I did all the boring stuff at Udon. You know, like while the guys go and draw their life away, you know, I go and do royalty reports. I do contracts. You know, I do accounting. I do all those kind of things, and those kind of things needs my utmost
attention,
concentration. Yeah, if I go and put like a show or like a TV show or I'll screw up. So I don't have a playlist actually. Also with my Hong Kong Chinese background, most of the time I actually listen to Chinese songs.
Okay.
You know, my English song playlist is still in the 80s. You know, back
like
before I come to Canada. Yeah, so that's why it's Wham, and you know, and then you know, like the old school Madonnas or Michael Jackson.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of 80s. You know, it's coming back round again.
REO Speedwagon, you know, Air Supply, you know, those kind of things. Yeah. I'm still on those old school 80s playlists.
That's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. 3 words.
But one of my favorite song though, one of my favorite English song.
Okay.
Is actually a song called Every Heart Needs a Home. It's actually part of the soundtrack of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Oh, okay. I'll check that
Every
out.
Heart Needs a Home. Check that out by Ting
check
Paul.
it out.
Yeah,
add it to your playlists, guys.
Yeah, I really like that song.
Okay. 3 words that best describe yourself.
3 words.
3 words.
If I just split it out, it would be fat. With fat, crazy, and collect too much. But then there's no. It's like,
all right, just collect too much and crazy. There you go.
Just collect too much and crazy. Yeah. I'm fat. My daughter goes like, you know, you're fat every day.
Oh, so mean. What
you need to meet my daughter.
I do.
Sometime.
She looks hilarious. I see all the posts that you have with her on Facebook. It's hilarious. What is the best dish you can make?
I make a good steak. You saw my barbecue pictures.
I did. I was thinking about that.
I can grill a really good steak.
Ooh, good. Okay, I'm coming for dinner. Do you have any allergies?
Yes, I am like for pollen,
pollen,
like hay fever type of thing. Yes.
Yeah,
that kills me. That's why it's been really bad lately.
Yeah, I don't get it too bad. I just a little bit sometimes. I get a bit itchy in the ears, but I wouldn't say it's a real allergy. I guess it's like a mild intolerance.
No, but then my nose got clogged up, and that is why it's really bad because recently with all these allergies, it's allergy season with all the pollen, you know, with the dandelions going on and stuff. It kills me.
It's coming.
And every morning, you know, like my throat's bad. I need to drink some hot tea and everything to just kind of like, you know, like wash it down.
Yeah.
And when the thing started coming lately, you know, I started like having clog up throat and stuff. So you go like all the time.
Yeah.
And when you go out, even with a mask and everything, you go out to the supermarket.
Everyone's like,
you started, and everyone's just looking at you because first of all,
oh my god.
Right?
Panic.
I'm Asian, so you look at this Asian guy with a mask kind of coughing. So he must have COVID-19. Yes. You know, this is racist thing still going on.
That's horrific. Yeah.
I'm not freaking out about this thing because I understand that anybody coughing is going to be bad nowadays outside.
Yeah.
So I try to hold it off.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Like, it's allergies. You can see just write it's allergies on the face mask. I've got.
Oh yeah, I should do that. I should write it on the mask. It's allergies.
It's allergies. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Totally do that.
There you go. It's perfect.
Totally do that.
What is the last TV show that you binged? I'm sure there's been some binging going on.
Uh, well, the last TV show that I binged is The Rookie because I rewatched it with my family.
Uh-huh.
I actually have been watching that show because of Nathan Fillion,
Okay.
because I almost killed him. Yeah, yeah. Like after that, well, I have been a fan of him. I've been a fan of him since Firefly.
Uh-huh.
So I really like. I
Firefly's
didn't
such
watch
a good show.
Castle,
Oh my God.
but yeah, I didn't watch Castle. But then the thing is, this new one, it has him on it, and it has a couple other
Uh-huh.
actors that I really like on it. So
So
I was
you
like,
gave
oh,
it.
interesting, a cop show. I don't really don't watch cop shows,
Yeah.
but then it's actually a really good, fun show, and then it has a really good moral value to it. So I introduced that with the lockdown and everything. My family needs something to watch, so I introduced that one to my daughter and my wife,
Yeah.
and then they liked it. So it becomes a thing every night after dinner. We watch a few episodes,
That's
so we
cool.
actually binge. Yeah, we binge it from the beginning, which is from season one up
Uh-huh.
till the latest ones, and then we watch the last 3 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks,
Like as it's
live
coming
on
out,
TV.
yeah,
Yeah, as it
right.
coming out. So
Nice.
that is the last show that I actually binged.
Binged.
But technically, I didn't binge it because I already
You
watched
already
most of
watched it.
them. Yeah,
But
I don't know. Did I? What's this? No, I don't think I've binged anything
okay.
for a long time. Oh, Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon
Altered
season
Carbon.
two is the one that
Ooh.
yeah, because
I
I
still
I
need to
took a
watch
week,
that.
but then
It's
yeah,
been
but
on my
I
list forever.
finished.
It's like Ozark and Altered Carbon. They're all like in my list, ready to go. So hopefully,
Yeah, Altered Carbon. I like season one. Season two is okay,
uh-huh.
but season one's better.
Okay.
But I've been yeah, Altered Carbon is the last one that I binged myself, if like on a consecutive basis.
Yeah.
But I prefer watching shows as it goes,
Oh, you like the
because I don't
weekly
really
thing?
have a lot of
You don't have
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
fair
don't have
enough.
the that kind of time to just sit there for a day. I really hate it nowadays though, because everyone on my Facebook wall is like, oh, this is my next list. This is my next list. It's like, yeah, I want to watch that too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to do that too. It's like, no, but I don't.
I have
It's
time.
been it's been busier and busier because there are a lot of things that I need to prepare for.
Yeah.
Even though the world's like shut down, publishing's shut down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it's coming back.
Hmm.
Uh, like the last like 2.5 months, it's even busier for me because I need to make sure that like
You have everything.
companies stay afloat.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I'm glad and lucky to that it doesn't affect Udon financially too much.
Uh huh.
We operate very differently, so we don't have a big overhead. So I can make sure that like all the finance
Yeah.
go back to making sure that all the staff's been paid, all the bills been paid.
Sure.
So, licensors,
Uh huh.
um, printing bills, everything. I have,
You're a
luckily
square.
we don't have any problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We have no problems.
Cool.
Like making sure the finance is okay. And now the publishing is kind of coming back. Everything's kind of
Starting
slowly
back up
going
again.
back to
We're
normal,
creeping back
crossing
to
fingers.
normality.
Yeah, hopefully. And hopefully, like we can get a lot of support with the online pin shop,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and that way, like we will definitely be able to survive this.
Excellent. Definitely. Okay. Next question: Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
What superpower would you want
Um,
if you had to pick one?
like, is that teleportation? Like, the way
Yeah.
the power that you can actually just grab something from afar.
Oh, yeah, like
Like
telekinesis, like
yeah, telekinesis. Yeah,
kind of,
telekinesis,
yeah,
not
yeah,
teleportation.
like Matilda.
Telekinesis. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Like, because I think that would be more useful than a lot of things.
I would
I
always
thought
pick
about that a lot. Like, if I can
flying.
have,
I'm like flying. I'm
no,
between flying or like teleportation. I'd like want to
no,
just be
because
like
to me,
I'm in New York. I'm in Hawaii. I'm in like that would be amazing. I'm back at my favorite
yeah,
restaurant
yeah, yeah.
in New York. I'm back at my just be like I want to go there for
I just, I,
lunch.
I just, I just feel that like if I can just like go and
Yeah, it
grab
just comes to
anything.
you. Okay. Where did we get
Quite
to?
cool.
What is the best gift you've ever received?
I like the R2D2 shaver that my wife gave me last Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
That one was nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was nice.
What is your favorite animal?
I love cats. I grow up with a cat,
Uh huh.
but now some cats would kill me because of
Because of the allergies.
I don't know why the allergies. Like, it's one of those things. It's
Yeah.
not every single cat though, but the majority of cats actually would would have me tearing and itchy on
Oh.
the eyes and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I can't have a cat anymore.
No more cats. Okay. What's your favorite fast food?
McDonald's?
Macca's. It's a good
Yes.
one. Um.
McDonald's would be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you speak
yeah.
any other languages? English,
Well,
obviously, and
English obviously. I'm from Hong Kong, so I'm fluent in Cantonese, so
Cantonese.
I
Yeah.
can read old Chinese.
Wow.
My Mandarin sucks. Most of the time, people don't understand me in Mandarin.
Hmm.
I can understand them, but when I actually,
Speak.
like speak it, it's horrible.
Uh huh.
I can read most of the Japanese texts because of the Chinese text there,
Uh huh.
and but then again, conversing is terrible.
Uh huh.
Otherwise, no. I mean, like my daughter is in French immersion school, so she's always
Oh,
teasing me about her. My French is zero. So,
it's fine. I've
so
lived here
even
for
though I'm in
I've
Canada,
I've
like
lived here for 10
I've been in
years.
Canada for like 30 somewhat years. Yeah. So how's your French?
Yeah, it's terrible. I've lived here for 10 years. I'm still terrible. I'm like, oui, ça va, ça va.
Well, you can kind of converse, right?
Oh
You
no,
go
I
out
can I
there,
can
you can.
speak it. I can.
Yeah, you
I
can
can
speak
get
it. Yeah,
by.
yeah, I can't. For French, I can't do it at all. Even though I've been in Canada for like 30 something years and French is a second language here, but
Yeah.
I never get around to learn it.
Mm. What is your favorite candy?
Ferrero Rocher,
Now we're talking.
that
Now
that
we
little
are
gold
talking.
ball thing.
They
Yeah,
are. Oh my god! Like I can't
yeah.
even. They're so dangerous. Those things.
Oh yeah,
They're
oh
insanely
yeah.
dangerous. Like you get a tray of them at my mum always gets them at Christmas, like a big tray of them. Yeah, we absolutely
You,
demolish
you,
a
you,
box in
yeah,
one
but
sitting.
what's interesting though? I found out that they are cheaper in the dollar store.
Oh really?
At least in Canada. In Canada, like you go, it's cheaper in the dollar store to buy a pack of three for $1 versus you buy a
Buying the
box, normally
box.
a box of what, like a box of 16,
Yeah,
and it's nowadays in Canada it's like $8.
yeah. It's like that now here as well. It's
If
like
you have it
eight
on
nine
sale, it's
euros or
six.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, if it's on sale, it's $6. It's
yeah.
5.99 if it's on sale, but normally it's like 8.99 to 9.99 for a box of 16. So it's much cheaper to buy a pack of three at the dollar store
And fill up an
store.
old box.
And and no, but it's better too than you open just one pack and you maximum only eat three at a time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rather than you have a box of 16 in front of you,
I
you
could eat the whole
demolish
thing.
it in
I'll
like
eat.
half an hour.
Yeah, I'll eat the
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing for sure.
it's
Like,
dangerous.
it's too dangerous. They're yeah, absolutely, completely.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food? Now I know you're a big foodie, and you even have a food
Uh,
Instagram account.
Yeah, it's kind of dormant lately because I've been so busy. But then it was So Belly Good. It's a riff of like So Belly Good, and also we actually did it pan, so it's like how Japanese people would say very,
Yeah,
because they cannot pronounce the V
the V,
properly.
so it's
They always become a
Betty.
B,
Yeah,
so it's So Belly Good.
say Betty good. Yeah,
Yeah. So
links in the
yes.
description.
Yeah. Um. Uh. We yeah. I do some food pics all the time.
You're a
And
food
I
pic master. I'm gonna put
recommend.
up a pic of like I've got some pictures of you
Yes.
taking pictures of food with
Oh yeah, yeah,
Janice,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like it's a production number. Like you've got like the lights out, and it's
Yeah, Janice would have light.
it's like
Janice is like the lighting going on, and I would do that. It was like pretty crazy. Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
yeah, it's like just
We
for a
make sure that we
pandan
get the
waffle,
food
you know.
picture right. Man, I miss the pandan
Oh
waffle.
my god, those pandan waffles.
I wish. I I don't know. Did you hear about the Chinese place, right? That got burned down.
No, China Max.
You didn't? Yeah, China Max got burned down a few weeks ago. The whole building got demolished.
I'm
I
so
don't know
sad right
what's
now.
going. That was so sad. It was so sad because China Max is like one of the places that we normally go to have like victory dinners after San Diego,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and China Max got burned down. And I was talking to Edwin about it, and it was like, holy shit, it's like, how did that happen?
Oh my
And
god, their
then
food was insanely good.
yeah,
So
and then
good.
yeah, and then the pandan waffle place next to it is so good, right? We
Yeah.
don't get those here. We
No,
don't get those
those
in
pandan
Toronto. The
waffles. Like
pandan
I'm
waffles, no.
dreaming about those pandan
Yeah,
waffles.
yeah. Chinese food we have tons in Toronto, but then pandan waffles I've never had anywhere else.
So good.
So
So
yeah.
freaking good. What? Actually, we never talked about. So, what is your favorite food? That's how we got onto that.
Uh,
Do you have a
I
favorite?
okay. So if the question is if I only have one food that I can eat forever and that's it, I
Okay.
would choose steak because I love steak.
Uh huh.
Um,
We went to
so
that
yeah, so I
steakhouse
guess
actually in New
a
York. That
nice
was
piece of
really
steak.
good.
Yeah,
That barbecue place we went to in New
you gotta
York was good.
you gotta come up to Toronto. I'll make you like a nice prime rib.
Chef
I,
kiss.
I I can do prime rib too.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. What is your favorite board game? Do you have a favorite board?
Favorite board game would be I like Monopoly.
Uh huh.
I like to play Monopoly.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
What is your
yeah.
current
Monopoly would be my favorite.
What's your current obsession?
Everything. My current
This
obsession
is
is
like
to
the
make
word.
sure that I got this whole. My current obsession is to make sure that we launch udonpins.com properly.
Yeah.
To make sure that we got all the products done. So we have about like we have about like 30 some odd Street Fighter character pins in the works. We have
30.
all
It's a
these
lot.
Macross stuff in the works. Like these Macross planes.
Nice.
These are like pins.
Wow.
So if you're a Robotech fan, then you can pick these up also
Uh-huh.
sometime next week. It should be the end of next week,
Gosh.
staggering with the Mega Man release.
Do you know when
So
the
yeah,
Street Fighter ones are gonna come out?
I'm waiting for we're working with Capcom, getting the approvals going.
Right.
Then you got to work with the factory, get the samples done,
So
and once
it's
the
gonna be
sample is done, then we can announce it, for sale. But we got a couple other things going in
okay.
between these. We're gonna have a Monster Hunter pin release.
Oh yeah, I
We're
saw
gonna
that.
have one single Street Fighter pin release that people will probably freak out because that one's really cool.
Yeah.
That one's a really really cool pin. Um, and a couple other things. Maybe I can slip you. Yeah, you know what? I can slip you. As your audience about it. It's an Akuma pin. So that Akuma pin is gonna come out probably before the Street Fighter character ones because
Right.
that one's done.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
we what I want to do is I want to be able to have a regular ongoing release on our website,
Yeah.
so that everybody can have something to look forward to every week or every 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's
We're
good.
gonna ramp up.
That's cool. What?
Yeah,
Okay. Disney or DreamWorks? I think I know the answer to this, but
yeah.
Disney. Yeah. I was like, I don't even know why I asked. To
There
be
are
fair.
there are a couple of DreamWorks stuff that there are a couple of DreamWorks stuff that I like. I like the Trolls. The Troll movie is
Yeah,
fun.
they're fun. Yeah.
The Troll movie is like
I
really
like
fun
the
and quite
like
happy
How
and
to Train Your
heartwarming.
Dragon and stuff like that. It's fun as well. It's good.
I actually have not seen How to Train Your Dragon
It's
yet.
good. I'd recommend
That's
it.
one of the things that is on my list that I never got around to watch.
It's good.
So I really want
It's
to
nice.
try it.
They're a good,
Yeah.
It's a good franchise, that one. Um,
Yeah.
how do you like to relax?
Sleep.
Perfect.
I work and sleep and work and
Work
sleep,
and
and that's
sleep and
about
work
it.
and sleep, yeah. And you have
Yeah.
crazy hours, I know. I'm like, isn't it like 5 a.m. there, you're like, oh yeah.
Today is actually one of the days that I actually run on normal hours because it's shifted to a point that it becomes normal. Because
You keep
normal
shifting it,
because
shifting it, shifting
the
it.
yeah, it keeps going for an extra hour. It keeps adds an extra hour every day.
Yeah.
So I would sleep at my normal sleep schedule would be I would sleep at around like 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
ish Canadian time.
Yeah.
That is when Japan
It's
and
like
Hong
getting up.
Kong,
Yeah.
it's almost finished. No, it's
Okay.
like, it's the other way around. It's when they almost finish.
Yeah.
They almost finished the day. So I got most of the things that I need to talk to them about, like,
Done.
like the Chinese factories making the pins, the Japanese publishers doing all the licensing, and then the Hong Kong printers who were doing the printing and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got most of those coordination done. Then I'll go to bed around like 4 or 5 a.m.
Hmm.
And then I'll sleep through until maybe like 11 to noonish Toronto time, like Eastern time, like New
Okay.
York time.
Yeah.
So basically is when the West Coast also started happening. So
Right.
then I can wake up and start talking to people like Capcom, who are in the West
Who
Coast,
in the West Coast?
and,
Yeah.
and most of the other companies in the East Coast also started, like, they go to lunch, but afterwards they started working.
Yeah.
So I got the rhythm that way. But lately, it's been like pushing more, and then I have some more things to do after figuring things out with Asia.
Yeah.
So lately has been like, oh, like it's like I go to bed at 8 a.m. shit, and I started waking up at like 3 p.m. type of thing, and then you started shifting. You start like shifting an hour or 2 hour or two. So some days I'll be in totally normal people's schedule, the
Yeah.
normal human being schedule. And today is one of those that I wake up at around like 9, and it was like, oh, okay, good. Because like last night, it finally get to a point that it was like, oh, I need to go to bed.
Yeah,
I
I
only
do
have
that. I
I've been
burn
only
myself
sleeping
out.
for
Like
a few
after like a
hours.
week or two of doing crazy hours, then I burn myself out, and then I like end up going to bed at like 10 p.m. and like then I'm back at waking up at like 5 a.m. and like
Yeah.
and then it shifts massively the other way. It's really strange. Okay, this is gonna be a hard one for you. Star Wars or Star Trek?
It's not hard. It says Star Wars.
Star Wars over Star Trek,
Yeah,
even though okay.
Star Wars. Definitely Star Wars. Like, even, yes, I would say the next generation shapes me and affects me a lot in life. But
But
to me,
the franchise,
Star Wars, uh, the original trilogy of Star Wars is more important than anything else. I can't say much about the new trilogy, but that's a next podcast.
yeah, and cut on that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book?
Favorite book, Wizard of Oz.
Okay, have you guys ever done an adaptation of The Wizard of Oz?
No, because there are too many of them out there.
Yeah.
So back to that question you asked about Manga Classics. So Manga Classics is a project that I do with my partner Andy, who is part of the crew, doing the Street Fighter HD. They are the ones
Yeah.
doing the majority of they are an animation studio back in Hong Kong that I work with, that they are the ones doing the majority of the frames in Street Fighter HD.
Yeah.
So everything goes back to Street Fighter. And I met Andy because of that. And then afterwards, like, we decided to do something together, and then we started this Manga Classics thing, to actually take classic literature and turn them into manga.
Yeah.
Um, because when I was young, when I came to Canada 30 somewhat years ago, when I need to do like literature
Uh huh.
as an elective in school, and I have so much trouble.
Uh huh.
I remember,
Yeah.
going up to Blockbuster and rent a tape to watch Romeo and Juliet to understand what it's about.
Yeah.
These Shakespeare books, all these classic literature stuff. You feel that is like, oh, this is like so
It's the
hard,
different. It's the
so
different.
boring.
It's like they're speaking a different language almost. Yeah.
Yes.
That iambic
So,
pentameter.
so what we wanted to do is to take classic literature, make it into manga, but then faithfully adapting it. Don't do like it's not a Pride and Prejudice and zombie type of thing.
Yeah.
I want it to feel right. I want it to feel like how the original author is intending to present the story. So we did a lot of research. We did a lot of, like Googling and Wikipediaing and a lot of other things
Yeah.
to look into the costuming, the architecture, everything that works at that time period. So
Period
when we
pieces. Yeah.
do, you know, when we do Pride and Prejudice, we make sure that everything looks fine, looks
Hmm.
great. And we did a lot of those books. So we have like the Jane Austen books, like Pride and Prejudice, Emma, Sense and Sensibility. We did Scarlet Letter. We did
Wow.
a whole bunch of Shakespeare lately, and then we're working on Anne of Green Gables right now. Uh, we have Dracula. We have a full wide range of
It's a lot.
interesting
Yeah.
classic literature stories. And so far has been really well received. People really like it.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And
Like, honestly, when
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
you've seen
them,
some of those.
well, yeah, I mean, we sell them at the booth and stuff at the cons, and people pick them up, and they're like, you get a lot of kids that are like, wow, these are amazing, and you also get a lot of,
Yeah, I mean, like
you get a lot of
people
parents
discover them. It's
or
funny because
older
people,
people that have been through school that are like, oh, if only I had this when I was at school, I would have been so
yes,
into it. And
that's
you're
what
like,
that's
that's
what
what,
our mission statement is
yeah,
to
for
try
sure.
to introduce the new generation these classic stories and show them that they are actually not boring. They're not
They're
intimidating. It's
great
actually
stories.
very accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
especially like all of there's so many movies and everything that are based on these like classic texts.
Well,
You know?
look at the new Emma.
Yeah.
That new Emma film. Actually, I like that a lot. In fact, I watched that and I like that a lot. But
Hmm.
even in the movie, they cut out a lot of plot points and there's a lot of intricacy between the characters
Yeah.
that is
Gets
not
lost.
expressed enough
Yeah.
in like a 1.5 hour, 2 hour movie. But with manga, our manga classics, we don't skim on page count. So we're talking about almost like 300 pages minimum to Hamlet, which is a 460-page book.
Wow.
And our Shakespeare, every single line of Shakespeare dialogue is in the book.
Yeah, they're
So you read
completely
a manga classic
unabridged. Yeah.
Shakespeare, it's completely unabridged. You read this manga, you literally
You're
read
reading
the
the play.
Shakespeare.
With that, I mean, it
Yes.
lends itself perfectly to that. Like having a play format, it's like this is it's like a comic book. It's like they say
See,
this, they
see,
say that,
see.
they
Here's
say
the
this,
here's the
they say
thing.
that. They do this, they do that. Like,
Shakespeare is very interesting because the Shakespeare books are literally only scripts. They are the dialogues. There is no description, unlike all these other books
yeah.
that we adapt. So that's why with Shakespeare, we feel that we can actually put the whole book there and use the pictures to tell the story and use the picture to do the action. And also, there's a lot of metaphors. Shakespeare used a lot of metaphors when he
Yeah.
was writing his dialogue. And even on the stage, the metaphors are just spoken out.
Yeah.
Like nobody can understand, or there's no visualization of those things. You have to pay attention to what they say, and flip, it's gone. You missed it. You missed it. With a manga, the great thing is you can actually savor the moment and actually look at the page, and you can actually go like, oh, you can actually see what's going on, and then we can actually draw out the metaphors and everything in the background as a
Hmm.
backdrop. So when they were talking about this, all these things are actually drawn in the background. So it's
Hmm.
actually really more. I would say the manga itself in a manga comic format, it's actually better express the original idea of what Shakespeare
What they
wanted to
intended.
to
Yeah.
express. Yeah, it's actually better expressed in that format than actually a play or a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and they're beautifully illustrated as well. That's the thing. They're like, it's so, they're so well executed, and I think that's why people really react to them in such a positive way when they get them in their hands. They're like, oh my god, like this is amazing. Like, they're so well drawn. They're so well thought out, and
Yeah, we have professional manga artists doing it in real manga style, not
Yeah.
like just black and white comic.
Yeah.
Like as a publisher who do manga and comics and everything,
Uh-huh.
we know the distinguished difference between manga and comics, because it's not only manga is black and white. Actually, they're all mangas that are color,
Yeah.
but it's the way the storytelling goes.
Goes.
They would spend a lot more real estate on developing the emotional context of the characters and everything, and then you have way more page count. The story flow and everything is a little different than comic book, because American comic book, you have each month, it's a monthly, and each month you only have like 20-22
20
pages
pages. Yeah.
max, to tell one story. While in manga, you can have way more pages to tell the same thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
think it's the
So
style of like it's the style like that sort of like Japanese storytelling style as well. It's like comparing like a Ghibli movie to like a Disney movie. Like
yes,
like some of my favorite Ghibli movies are very much those slice of life movies where
yeah,
nothing really happens.
they would take like 5-10 minutes to focus on the environment.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
like for example, if you have watched a couple of these newer films, not necessarily Ghibli, but then something like like Weathering with Me or
Yeah.
Your Name,
Or your
like
name. Yeah.
those kind of like new modern anime movies, you will realize that they focus a lot on the human emotions, and they focus a lot on interacting with the environment and everything.
Yeah.
Um, and they would do like a still shot, seeing the person and track it from how her expression goes,
Yeah.
and would take the time to let it sink in, to do those kind of things. While most of the American animation is all about fast pace, jump
Action. Yeah.
here,
This that will
action,
bang wallop.
and yeah, and then they don't have any breathing room for the audience to kind of take it in more.
Yeah. It gives there's a lot more breathing room and yeah, I just love that style.
Yeah.
It's beautifully done. Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of concludes all my questions. I had a couple more, but
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
Let's see.
like we've made good time.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
anything you want to say to wrap this whole thing up? We're gonna have to do this again. I feel like we could go forever. It's one of those
Yeah.
things.
Well, again,
We'll do a
this is it.
monthly.
We do monthly, or you do something like Star Wars or Star Trek. We'll
There we
talk
go,
about
and we can
that.
just do that
We
for
can
the
do
whole
that
thing.
too.
We
Yeah.
need a Erik Ko podcast. That's what we really. I mean, like you haven't got enough time on your hands. Um,
Well, I mean, like it's fun to be able to talk, and and to reach out to people. I guess
yeah.
I'm not. This is actually my very first podcast ever, and I
What?
like it.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
I've never done a real podcast. I mean, like we did cons, so at cons, I would do presentations and stuff, but
Yeah.
this is like real first podcast for me.
There you go. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you've
thank
usually
you for having me.
yo, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, like usually you're the front man at all of the panels and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I knew you'd be
Yeah, well, this is
fine.
this is more. I like it that this is more like intimate and personal too. So it's nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Edwin to do it. Edwin's scared. Edwin doesn't want to. He's
Really?
like, yeah, he's like, I'm not a good
Come
public
on.
speaker, and I'm like, it's just talking on the phone with someone about stuff.
He's stutter. He'll totally stutter.
No, he
It'll
wouldn't.
be
He
interesting.
wouldn't. He's no. He's got a lot to say as well. But he's a giggler. He giggles a lot.
Yes.
He's a giggler.
At New York, it's anime NYC. Yeah, anime NYC. We um one of those like internet journalist guy. He
Uh-huh.
got me, and then he wanted to do a thing for me with me, and then I was in front of Edwin's booth. So afterwards, I introduced Edwin. And I was like, "Oh, yo, you're like a Street Fighter artist." I said, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Can I do a thing with you?" And then Edwin was like, so, it was so funny.
It's all
It
right.
was, it was, it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable in front of the camera. It's kind of
I'm gonna
funny, but
force him. I'm gonna force him.
yeah,
I'm gonna start grabbing all of the Udon
Yeah,
artist guys.
you gotta get all the other Udon guys on.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
like
Chamba like streams and stuff, so he's
Samba,
cool, and Rob
yeah,
and all
and
of those
Rob
guys.
streams a lot. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
so
try to get Long. You know,
Long, yeah,
and try
Long
to
said
get
he'd do one.
Joe.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Joe would be great.
you
And
have
Joe streams as well.
you have not met Joe. Yeah, Joe streams as well, but then
I
you've never met him.
I go into Joe's streams sometimes. I watch his streams when he's drawing and stuff. He's amazing.
Yeah,
That
this
guy.
this Sagat book's coming along, so the Sagat book is still happening. There are a couple people asking, it's like, did you cancel the Sagat book? No, but then, you know, like we want Joe to take his time.
Yeah.
We
Get
want
it
it to
right.
be like
It's better
great,
to do
so.
it right, you know,
Yeah,
and not disappoint
that is
anybody.
why that is the beauty of Udon. Is like we don't
Rush
need to
things out.
churn out books on a regular basis to get going.
Yeah.
We'd rather go spend the time and do the best and put it out there.
For
And
sure.
that is what we like to do instead of of rushing it and putting it out.
Absolutely. So, have you got anything else you want to say to everybody? I mean,
No, but like anyone who likes Udon, make sure that you follow
Udon
the Udon social medias, especially on Facebook and Instagram. Do check out the Manga Classics books.
Yeah.
Because that is one of my my absolute baby project, and then I think you'll find it interesting. So mangaclassics.com.
mangaclassics.com.
Put it there.
I'll put it down. Yeah, links in the description. Yeah. There you go. Well, thank you so much, Erik, for being on my podcast today. You will find all the information about everything we talked about in the links below. And I can't wait to have you back on. This was an absolute blast. It was so funny.
Let's do it more often.
Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to give this video, if you like it, a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, Erik. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.